But actually, we're going to start elsewhere for a vignette tonight. And it's everyone's favorite song, which means you know who we're talking to. By the way, before we begin tonight, I am going to put out a content warning for our viewers. This opening vignette tonight is rough. If you have some squeamish tendencies for implied torture, I would maybe mute up for it's about a 2-minute read. So I'm going to go ahead and give you just a moment to mute up. And yeah, we'll be back in just a moment. If you are, on the other hand, are very okay with it, then, well, enjoy.
You made it through the BFA story.
Yeah,
Maybe
you can make it through
so
this.
Bad.
Here we go. As the whispers in silence prepare to confront their worst fears in Falah's mind, we're going to begin elsewhere. We're going to begin with a man for whom life clings to him like a disease. The clicking of heels against an obsidian floor rouses Saren from his restless slumber, his cheek pressed against the black crystal. Blood continues to drip out of his mouth, and he hardly has the strength to move anymore. His own stench putrefies the air, a mixture of necrotizing flesh, infected wounds, and a dozen other smells one dare not guess at. Every breath, every movement, every moment that isn't death is pain, and it is all he knows now. As his eyes open and the bleary world comes into focus, he sees the heeled boot of Scala standing next to him, and wearily he glances up at her. With a deep smirk, she kneels down. "Good morning, little boy. I trust your night was pleasant?" she asks. Glancing down, he frowns and nods. "Yes, my queen." "Of course," he chokes out wearily. Scala smiles at that, offering a tender stroke through his hair. She then stands and nods. "Come with me," she orders, and begins to walk away. Just the thought of getting up and walking is agonizing, but it is nothing in comparison to what he will experience if he disobeys. This he now knows intrinsically. So with all the strength he can muster, he pushes up to his feet and starts to limp after her. Making their way through Death's Knell, she leads him up towards a room with a crystalline door. Myriad thoughts run through his mind, wondering what fresh torture she'll have concocted for him. And yet, as the door opens, he blinks at the room he sees before him. A massive tub filled with clean water, a bath. And he glances to Scala curiously. The Dread Demon Queen smiles. "Can you clean yourself?" she asks, offering her hand. Saren looks at her hesitantly, confused, his mind racing as he tries to figure out what the game is. But cautiously, he reaches for her hand, expecting pain for doing so. Only none comes. She merely takes his hand and helps him into the bath before drawing up a cloth to begin cleaning him. And as she does, she speaks. "Today is a big day. We'll be seeing your sister," she says. Saren flinches and looks away. "I don't have a sister," he replies quickly, instinctually. Scala raises an eyebrow, drawing up a pitcher of water and beginning to wash and cut the mats out of his hair. "Oh?" Saren is practically shaking as he shakes his head. I am your loyal servant. You are my queen. I have no friends, no family, no people, nothing save you," he stammers out. At that, the Demon Queen smiles and takes his jaw, making him look up to meet her eyes. "And such a well-behaved boy you are," she whispers and leans down to kiss his cheek softly. He flinches at first before casting a curious gaze at the affection. And as Scala resumes cleaning him, she smiles. "Now, once we get you cleaned up, we'll get you something to eat, and then we have to go meet the whispers in silence. And you will fulfill your prophecy. And I've decided that since you've been so well-behaved, when you do this, I'm going to let you meet your child. So smile, little boy. It will all have been worth it." And Saren forces a smile, even as tears drip down his cheeks.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it's great. He's doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, meanwhile, back in the dreams of one Philas Silverborn, the party has been confronted with numerous figures of their past, dark, inky beings that have now taken shape in front of you. And as this corrupting ink continues to flow out from the Dread Demon Queen, it goes under your feet, and suddenly each of you are alone with the being that stares across from you. Melody. Standing across from you is Onredo Tsuki. Well, the drowned remains of her anyway. Her hand quivers and shakes as she reaches out toward you, and you can feel something changing, as if the very essence of love and life is being stolen from you. Tears run down her bloated cheeks. I could have seen them again, but I had to save you. How can you continue? How can you continue to be a burden on everyone around you and call yourself a hero?
And Melody just kind of like, as this was happening, uh, after she finds herself like all alone, there was a hint of fear in her. But as this shade of Suki continues to talk, Melody
Before you're
shade.
able to respond, take 6 points of necrotic damage, then you can go.
Melody just kind of like shakes her head as the shade continues to talk, and when Suki accuses her of how can she call herself a hero, that's when the shaking that Melody didn't know was happening to her entire body kind of like stops, and she's finally able to like meet whatever is left of this remains of Suki's eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and she goes, I I don't. I'm not a hero. I've never really considered myself as one. I'm just doing what I can do with what I'm able to do. And I know it's been difficult because you're telling me stuff that I've thought of myself, that I've robbed Martine and Yuki of their mother.
Take 10 points of necrotic damage.
But you will not break me.
Yuki.
I'm scared, but you will not break me. Because I know you're not real.
I'm not real.
You're not real. I've spoken to you. You left me with a mission, and I will see it through. I will give your children your message, and I will let them know how much their mother loved them.
She grits her teeth looking frustrated. Meanwhile, Rialta, the man standing across from you, his body rotting in some places and frozen in others, still bears the likeness of your father. He shambles closer, his broken back causing his upper torso to sway unnaturally. Hello, Starlight. I'm sorry. I failed you. And that is why your brother mourned me while you forgot me. That is why he was angry and wanted revenge, and you wanted to just let me go. If I had been a better father, you would have loved me more.
Stop that. That's not true.
Take 9 points of necrotic damage.
Everything yours. Sorry. She takes. Sorry, I'm trying to do math too quickly in my head. Okay.
You're fine.
Nope, one more. Okay. She takes a step back, but plants her feet in the ground. You're just something from my mind. You've already passed on. You had to have. It's been years.
Maybe I'm waiting out there with the rest of them. Unable to pass. Because they murdered me.
You weren't murdered.
I saved that tiefling. And they left me to die. They left her to die.
What happens to what's with one doesn't speak for all of them. You've always been a man of logic. You know this to be true. You can't speak of a whole race like that.
Take 8 points of necrotic damage.
Jeez.
Your brother. Why did you let him give in then? You couldn't watch him.
I tried so hard.
You failed.
No, it's not on me. Not anymore. He's an adult. In pain. And I will help him. I'm not here to clean up his mess. I'm here to be there for him so he knows that.
Meanwhile, Varys, the clockwork girl, stares at you, gears twisting and tearing at her flesh, causing her to writhe in agony as tears streak down her cheeks. Why? All I wanted was one little kindness. I wasn't even worth that to you. To let me know that my existence wasn't a mistake. Some moral failing on your part? Was it too much to ask that you lie to me one time? Grant me some comfort.
Even if I were to, it wouldn't be you I lied to. You are an illusion. And you will not break me.
Take 7 points of necrotic damage. An illusion. That's a funny way of saying it. Growing up, you were the illusion. The person I knew must have existed but didn't. The reason I never had any friends.
Now, there's where you make a mistake, Reacher. You see, girl I talked to, she was more concerned with solving her own problems than dwelling on them. I step forward.
Ooh.
So I say again, you will not break me. And the words that you're asking for, they are owed to someone still living. I do not owe them to you, and you do not deserve them.
Take 12 points of necrotic damage. Caldana.
Oh boy.
There she stands. Lestitia. The demonic tattoos once again covering her deep red flesh as those leathery bat wings splay out behind her. A wicked smirk sits on her lips as she stretches out and then begins to approach you. I can see the conflict in you, Caldana. Can you still love me, even as I am? Did you love Sureya, or did you love Lestitia? Or are they the same person? She asks, reaching up to stroke your cheek. Take 6 points of necrotic damage.
Hold on, let me do this right so I don't accidentally set my health to 6 in D&D Beyond again.
Mood.
I forget, she's taller than me, right?
A little bit, yeah. It's a dread demon for sure.
Trying to think of how Caldana would phrase this. She's gonna stare up defiantly, like, and both. Doesn't matter what the world did. The good in you is the same as the good in her.
She smiles and leans in closer. You've always had such faith in me. For someone you knew for less than a week.
Wait, was it actually less than a week?
You were with her for quite a while, but she might be referring to something else. I can see deep inside your mind, Caldana. I know when you started feeling differently. Take
You can
13 points of necrotic damage. As you feel that life essence leaving you.
You can claim that all you like. We both know that's not what's on my mind right now.
She kind
I
of
have
gives a
nothing but faith in
suggestive
her.
grin at that.
Caldana doesn't even react to the grin.
Fair enough. Melody. The form of Onredo Suki melts away. And now, where she was, there stands a grave. Yuki is on her knees over it, crying, while Martine stands on the other side of it, his head bowed solemnly, tears going down his cheeks as well. Take 9 points of necrotic damage. And you might be muted.
No, I'm here.
Oh, sorry.
Melody is gonna take a deep breath. You're not gonna break me. I refuse to let you have your way with me, with my friends. And I'm sorry
for what the world did to you. I'm sorry you're in pain. But hurting other people will not help.
Very well. Rialta, it's no longer your father standing in front of you. You're in a room. You recognize it. It's your home. Your mother's home. And there she sits at a table, empty. No husband, no son, no daughter-in-law, and no daughter. Her eyes look empty, lost. She looks thin, as though she has not eaten. Her eyes are sunken, as though she has not slept. And the tear streaks down her cheeks are obvious.
It's a vision of a possible future. It's one that I've seen, that I've thought of. But it hasn't come to pass yet.
Take 10 points of necrotic damage.
I'm coming back, Mother. Whether it'll be with Saren or not, I don't know. But you're not going to be alone. And I don't have time for my own thoughts of anxieties. We have way more important things to worry about. Take me back to Falah.
Varys. Kelsey is no longer in front of you. There is someone else. Would you care to describe for everyone what Kelsey's mother looks like?
Mirabelle is almost the same height as Varys. She is slender. Her skin is dark. Her hair is the color of oak bark. A rich, deep brown. Her eyes are large and pale like the surface of the moon when it's full. She is dressed in the garments of a druid, leathers, furs, holding a staff of ash wood, and the motif of a moth is carved into the head of it. She does not wear any sort of jewelry, but there are small trophies stitched into the arms of her garb, teeth from beasts that she has either befriended or bested, depending on when it was necessary. And I suspect she does not look happy to see me.
She doesn't look angry as she stands there in a forest that is withering away and burning. She looks horrified. She looks sad, broken. You gave my daughter away.
I
I
did.
carried her, I bore her, and you gave her away.
Yes. Yes, I did. Sir Varys will walk closer. Thank you, demon. You've reminded me another person I have to apologize to. I'm going to cut her head from her shoulders.
All right, go ahead and take 7 necrotic damage, but yeah, duly noted as
And
you
then I will
swing
walk
the
past
blade
the corpse.
and lop the head off.
It is not easy. I do not like doing it, but I will walk past the corpse.
Yep.
Varys is very mad.
Reasonably so. Caldana. Lestitia is still there. Only now, both Lestitia and Soraya are there. And Lestitia has Soraya on the ground and is choking the life out of her. take 7 points of necrotic damage.
Are they still, like, close to me, or do I have to, like, walk up again?
They're probably like 20 feet away.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna burn a rage for this. Gonna walk up, just kind of grab Lestitia's horns and, like, pull her back off of her. Like, and then force eye contact. If you were actually in my head, you'd know this isn't anywhere close to my worst nightmare.
Damn.
Metal.
That's metal as fuck. All right. Brooks. Nothing has changed for you, save for the fact that your friends have all disappeared. You watch as this young 14-year-old Uruk girl with tears in her eyes looks desperately towards Scala for a solution. And the dread demon waves a hand, conjuring up Sanguine Moon and holding it out towards her. You have paid the sanguine price, Phila Silverborn. Your father's blood stains your soul, and that is the sacrifice you have made. The blade is yours now. Take it. Use it how you will, she encourages. Phila looks very torn.
Is it a similar sort of far away thing?
She looks about 10 feet away from you.
Okay, I'll start walking up, and you don't have to take that, and you know it.
I don't have to, but I could help. I could make sure no one else has to die.
You're already helping.
I failed. They're dead because of...
And taking that sword will not change that. In fact, it would sully their memory, undo their sacrifice.
Rux, take 29 points of necrotic damage.
Ow.
Yeah.
She don't have
As
that
you
much.
feel,
Ouch.
as you can feel all the energy of this place trying to silence you. The sword is very close to having this one, and you will not take her away. She looks at you. Why did you leave? I know it wasn't perfect, but I would have tried to make you happy. I would have been good. I promise.
Have I reached them, or is it one of those?
You're there.
Okay.
You're there.
I'll sort of, bend down, kneel, whatever, because she's not standing, right?
No, she is on her
Okay.
knees and is just
I'll
slumped.
kneel down with her. You're right. It wasn't perfect. And the life we've lived since then isn't either. But you do make me happy. As you are now.
Takes 17 points of necrotic damage. Brooks, you watch this girl run through things in her mind. You can see the gears turning. She was always smart. But she looks to the sword, so close, within arm's reach now. She could grab it right now. and her hand lifts up, and she starts to reach for it, but then instead leans up and pulls you into a hug and buries her face in your chest and starts to cry.
Absolutely draw her in the tightest hug that I can. It's okay, little one.
Music changed.
And as you pull her close, holding her tightly, you plant a kiss on the top of her head, and you can feel the darkness of this place beginning to recede. The visage of the demon queen begins to fade, and behind you, 4 pillars of light erupt as your friends all step out of them, and a 5th shortly behind as Tashira steps out as well. And that light spreads out, and before you know it, the corruption of this place is all but gone. And you all awaken, back in the inn room in the city.
Were we successful?
Immediately up.
As you scramble back up, you see Falah. Her eyes are just beginning to open as well. And for the first time in probably a week, they don't have that glazed, lost look in them anymore. She's here, mentally present again. As she sits up. Oh. I'm really hungry.
That's a good sign.
We can get you food. How do you feel?
She gives a soft blush, actually. Better. Better than I think in a long time.
How much do you remember of the last few days?
She looks around. Nothing. Last thing I can remember is the bloodstorm when we were in the city, when we were in Dawnside.
It's a long time.
Well, I'm glad you feel better now. We're in High Peak, right?
Yep.
We're in High Peak now.
Oh. Well, it certainly feels like home.
Ironically, very far underground.
If you can believe it. I have written in one of my journals things that have happened. I write in it every day. I can give it to you if you need to catch up on yourself, or someone can tell you if you do not want to read.
Oh, that would be nice. Thank you. Is it in Common, I don't suppose, or is it in... I don't speak Dwarvish.
Oh, no, this is in Common. Personal notes are in Dwarvish.
Oh, fair enough. She kind of shifts a little bit. Thank you, all of you. I kind of remember my dream. You were all there.
You carried a
Caldana's-
heavy burden.
Caldana's just gonna give her a thumbs up from the floor.
Melody looks like she is holding herself back and she's looking at Falah and going,
I'm really bad at this. Can I hug you?
Falah smiles a little bit and nods.
I'll move out of the way to allow Melody in.
Melody is gonna tackle Falah.
Okay. You do. And more so than I think you've ever seen her, she's receptive to it. She's not quite as soon as you're used to her being.
Melody is crying. She is bawling her eyes out and she is stammering, "Oh my god, oh my goddess, I'm so glad you're okay. I didn't know what to do. We didn't really know each other very well, but I am so glad that you're okay." I'm not gonna do that in Melody's voice right now.
Okay. You all kind of hear a groan as Tashira sits up. Clearly, that took a lot out of her. She's like, oh,
Are you all right?
oh, we are never doing 6 people again. That is too many.
Well, hopefully
Thank
we
you,
won't.
Amazing.
Tashira.
Yes.
You did
Thank
more
you.
than save this young woman today. You may have saved all of us here.
Well,
Melody's gonna get off from tackling Fala and give her a quick pat on the shoulder and not even really gonna ask for permission, but she's gonna tackle Tashira as well.
you wouldn't have to ask for permission. Tashira is very on board, as she is tackled down and hugs you tightly.
And she's
I'm-
in full Melody fashion. She is stammering her thanks. She is going, you you did such an amazing job, but I was so worried because we couldn't find you in there and stuff. And
yeah, I didn't think I was gonna see my mom in there. That was a lot. Ugh.
Seems like the sword was in our heads and pulling out our weaknesses into a sort of a physical manifestation.
This is something you guys do regularly, or
Not
wouldn't
like
say
this.
that.
Something out of the ordinary for us.
Well, not the reflection of our fears type of thing, but a lot of demon stuff. Yeah.
Demons typically try to prey on our weaknesses. I
They don't like us
sort
very
of
much.
fell back into my training.
well, I'm sorry that you have
it's
to
not
deal
that
with
great
stuff
at
like
it.
that regularly.
Well, only since you know who's been back. That's
Ah.
kind of the issue.
Well, I am
Rather it be us than someone else.
Indeed. Someone has
Fair
to
enough.
get it right.
yeah. It's,
Um,
pretty amazing. Listen, I'm very tired. I'm gonna get some sleep. That said, I'm gonna head down home. Do you all want to come with?
Yeah. Not sure. Home? You
We
mean?
can
well, I'm
all
sure-
do a sleepover.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, Melody. I'm sure you're gonna want to come and see your mom.
I'll sort of look over at Fala as a sort of like check.
Is there food? She asks, and Tashira nods. Probably the best you're gonna get to eat in High Peak.
Well, I suppose we humbly accept your invitation, so long as we are not imposing.
I'm sure that that Ambi and Celesta would be happy to have you.
I think we'll all be
Br-
fine, but brace yourselves. I'm going to break the magic circle.
I'm gonna warn you all. It's good. It's food that you could literally die for. Mama Brosia,
sorry?
when she puts her mind to it,
Hmm?
she can make food so good you'll feel like you died and went to heaven then back again. Cause you gotta try more.
Can her
Oh.
food make it feel less hot?
Maybe.
Nice. I'm with Kaldon on this one.
So, that being the case, Tashira eventually is able to get up to her feet. She does look very tired. Like, if I imagine, like, Varys, if you have spent all your spell slots, all your lay on hands, and your oath for the day, that's like how she looks, like where she is just burned out. But
I'm gonna help her up and just kind of like support her along the way.
then the
'Cause I
entire
don't
way
think
back,
I'm-
the look on her face is worth.
Because I don't think I'm strong enough to princess carry her right now. No, not with the 10.
I'll let you try. You want to make an athletics check?
Oh god.
Right?
Honey, don't.
She certainly isn't going to resist you.
Mm,
Right. Do we have to go down the stairs for? I don't. Oh,
it's a
oh,
10.
All right.
mm.
You go to like Princess Carrier, and she's really excited about it, and you lift her up, and like after like a minute, you just go, Yeah, actually, we're just gonna walk this one. Lean on me, and she does so. But you all make your way towards the elevators, and again, you get a lot of interesting looks as you are walking around. There are not very many non-Scarlet Dragonborn here, but with Tashira guiding you, there is very little trouble. No one seems to give you an actively hard time. Most people figure if you're this far in, like, you are okay to be here. It's not like it would be if you like approached the upper barracks without an escort, where they would probably shoot at you.
Rude.
You make
Fair
your
enough.
way onto the elevator, which descends you down to the 3rd level of High Peak. And here is a large residential area. Again, most of the homes here look very similar. They're all made of kind of that same like crystalline rock. They have metal doors on them, probably forged from various ore that's been excavated here. However, the home of Celesta and Ambrosia is, well, what you would expect, Melody. It certainly stands out amid the other houses in the area, decorated with gems of different colors and other interesting glowing phosphorescent lichen. And pacing out in front of that house is Celesta of the Ivory. Mostly as you remember her, although with one major difference. She is walking with a cane, a limp on her right side. She's aged a little bit over the years, though it's only been a few years now, so she's mostly how you remember her. She still has that warm, loving look that you remember, and as her eyes fall on you, she is already crying before she hurries across the area and tackles you into a hug, leg be damned. Oh, Melody, God's above, you're okay.
I'm
She...
home. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Shh. It's okay. She just hugs you very tightly. The look on her face is one of like, okay, so I don't have to kill Ambrosia. That's good. Because if she had been lying to me about this, I would have. But she is there, and she holds you very tightly and for as long as you need to be held. And as she does, she kind of glances around at the others in the party.
Hello?
Madam.
You must be the ones that I could not see in my dream.
I'm sorry.
My friends really whispers in silence.
Ah, what a lovely
Great.
name.
Greeting.
Very well. Ambrosia has told me a little bit. Don't see very many Uruk in this part of the world, so you must be Brux and Falah. I
Yes.
was told about a pompous knight. That must be... She looks...
I am the pompous knight in question.
Cerberus. Excellent.
Yes.
Tiefling, so you must be called Donna. And another of the mountain dwellers, indeed, Rialta. It is so very nice to meet you. Tashira, I see you have made good friends. Tashira gives like a thumbs up, still looking very exhausted, and Celesta raises an eyebrow. Have you been dream walking? Tashira nods. Yes.
She did us a very helpful favor. That may have saved
Yes.
one of our lives.
Celesta
Not more.
Celesta glances at Tashira and then glances at Melody. Tashira, did you take my daughter into a dream?
Now that I will not help to
Tashira stiffens a little bit. I did
Grin.
not take her into a dream.
Right. No, you did.
Mommy,
We all went
Mommy.
in.
She
it's
took all of
okay.
us.
Yeah, we all went in. It was, it was
At
a
the same
nightmare, I
time.
guess more than a dream. There was, I felt like at one point the very life force was being pulled out of me. It was quite, yes.
Cerberus.
Tashira, head inside. We're going to have a conversation later.
Well, I can just tell you,
Mom,
I remember
be
it pretty
fair,
vividly.
Have you tried to stop your daughter when she puts her mind to something?
At that, Celesta thinks for a moment. She glances at Melody. Ugh, and look at you, a woman grown. I
Wait
suppose.
until I tell the alphabet crew. I gotta have so many stories for him.
Oh, that is a name I have not heard in some time. The Alphabet Crew. Oh, I do miss home. I haven't seen it in so long. Please, enough talking out here. Come inside. And you are all welcomed into their home, where the smell of a stew cooking fills your nostrils immediately. And given the quality of meals you've all had over the last week, the aroma is beyond delightful. You are no sooner in the door than do you hear Falah's stomach growl loudly. And she looks very embarrassed. Apologies.
Just means that you're feeling better. That's what my mother
Yep.
would say.
Ambrosia
Consider it-
calls out from the kitchen. It's a compliment.
Sit her down and like, all right, let's get this.
See, I told you. My mom's the best cook.
Indeed. Ambrosia brings everybody a bowl of stew, including herself, Celesta, and Tashira. And also brings everyone a mug, which is iced over and has ale in it, or wine if you prefer.
Oh my God.
Sweet cold
Thank
drink.
the dead gods.
Ambrosia nods. I know, the heat is none much to our liking either. We're used to, well, I suppose none of you have, well, save Melody, of course, have ever been to Far Home, but it is not warm like this.
Mm-mm. It's cozy, but
It is.
It's
it's gotta be cozy after the cold outside.
Well, Celesta speaks up. Well, rest assured, when this is all over, you will all visit Far Home as our guests.
Well, that's a great honor.
it gets hot like this in the desert, although not as humid.
Though my understanding, Brooks, is that
Insert
it also
it's a
gets quite
dry
cold at
heat
night.
thing. Yes.
So you must deal with both the cold and the heat in the desert.
And so I'm the strange one for living in the woods my whole life.
I don't think that there's anything too strange about that. The Verde clan would find that quite fitting.
Good people.
They can be.
It
If they want to.
it helps our people's resilience.
One way to put it.
I think Rialta and Caldana, I think you two would both find Far Home quite appealing. I understand the climbs are very similar to the Kartok.
Oh,
Sounds
What would
infinitely better than... She just kind of gestures out the door.
Though we thank you for your hospitality and are quite happy to be here.
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Right? Yes, everyone.
We're very grateful that we have been allowed in a place that I know is quite often does not look well upon outsiders.
Oh, yes,
No.
many people looked at us like they wanted us dead. So,
You will have to forgive our sisters and brothers in the Scarlet. Their people were nearly hunted to extinction some, 770 years ago now.
they certainly know how to hold a grudge.
And more than the others, I must also extend my thanks for your graciousness. On that note,
Celesta speaks up. Well, believe you me, Ambi and I are both quite, we're quite aware that if we do not all stand together now, regardless of our past issues, we will all die together.
Good.
well put.
That's true.
When we had our dream that night and saw the lot of you die on the crossing, we knew we had to do something to help.
So you are like the other one. You can walk in dreams?
No, not to our knowledge anyway. One night, years ago, Ambrosia and I both dreamt the same dream. We saw Melody and 4 people whom we could not see the faces of, crossing through the Soren mountain range and dying in the process because they would have no way to make it. And we knew it was our place to secure our daughter eventual passage through. We have gone to great length, and she glances down at her leg, occasionally personal sacrifice to accomplish this.
How long ago was this?
Melody, what's it been, 6 years, I think, or 5?
For
Since they left, since you were abandoned.
10.
10? Okay, so 10 years.
Well, I
Long time.
can tell you why you didn't see the faces. Not all of us were chosen then.
Well, it would seem that the gods chose well for you to have come this far.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Wait. I got someone you have to meet.
And
Oh.
she looks around for Fluffles.
Oh boy. Indeed. The bear tattoo is, you're able to find him on your shoulder currently. He has a pot of honey that he is currently eating out of.
Where'd
He's
you get
moving?
that from?
What?
Yeah, he's moving.
Yeah,
He's
moving.
moving?
He's just. He's moving. You haven't used your wish yet. Yeah, so he's just eating the honey.
You never can tell with bees.
See, look, Mama, I like you to meet Fluffles.
We leave her for 10 years and she gets a tattoo. This is your fault. Ambrosia
Waffle, say
rolls her
hi.
eyes.
To be fair, she didn't have much of a choice.
God gave it to her.
Indeed.
The matriarch
We all
gave it
have
to me.
one.
Huh?
Ah. She leans in and kind of examines the tattoo. I see.
Waffle, say hi.
The bear looks very distracted by the honey, which is very happy to have. But it glances up and waves a little bit, but then some of the honey falls down and the bear looks pissed off.
Oops, sorry.
Brought some more honey.
That's a good idea.
No,
yeah,
it
can I
it's
borrow your pen?
hold on. It wasn't. All right.
All right.
Too late. Drawing some honey.
But she nods. Well, it'll be a little tight with everybody here, but I think we can accommodate.
If you need someone to sleep outside, I'm more than happy to do so.
No, of course not. You are our guest. And you have been such good company to Melody. She glances at Melody. Melody, are you a knight?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, no, that was a dear, I'm asking for an explanation.
Oh,
You were not a knight when we left you.
well, no, I wasn't a performer either, but Cerberus was like, I told Cerberus that I was having thoughts and stuff, and he was like, well, I'm gonna be all cool and stuff, and I'm gonna knight you. And he did, and we were on a boat, and then the matriarch was like, wait, no, I want to knight you, and now I'm a knight for both of the orders.
Ambrosia and Celesta look at each other. Part of them clearly wants to say, our daughter and her imagination, but things have been kind of weird for a long time, so they're like, actually, it's probably just true.
It is all true. I can attest to that fact. Well, I mean, there was a bit more thought I put into it rather than this would be cool. But yes,
All
the
right.
title was well earned.
Celesta thinks about that. Our daughter, a knight. Huh.
I get to preserve stories and tell them.
There's a song in that somewhere, says Celesta as she starts to think. You can see that look in her eye as she is clearly starting to work out a melody and lyrics in her mind. But she nods. Ambrosia goes and comes back out a moment later with dessert. Unfortunately, it is not ice cream because that would not last very long here.
Damn.
But it is what we would call brownies.
Oh.
It is
Or-
almost a fudgy chocolate cake that she has created.
I mean, we have that
Dope.
up north.
Mom,
Like-
I've missed your brownies. Oh my goodness.
And indeed, everyone will be missing their brownies from here on in because they are outstanding. Falah looks very happy. She's like, oh my god. She's so happy right now.
Oh, I didn't know you had a sweet tooth too.
I didn't either. Oh,
Think anybody would for these.
Mom's cooking has a way of changing lives.
Aldana's definitely looking at those brownies like they're the best thing she's ever tasted.
they may well be because I'm going to tell you, I rolled before session on how well she does preparing this meal, and I rolled a nat 20 that she has a plus 12 to, so it's a 32. So
Chef!
it is a good
Chef
night.
trait!
She's got the chef
Damn!
trait. She does have chef trait.
Chef trait!
Hot damn.
Yeah. So everyone gets a very nice meal. But yeah. So the night wears on and conversation is had and stories swapped as they get caught up. You learn that indeed Celestia and Ambrosia have been here now for about 4 years. After traveling basically the length and breadth of the Soren mountain range looking for ways through, they eventually stumbled upon the Soren Rangers, who told them who brought them back to High Peak, where they were able to strike a deal with the master of High Peak to provide a way through when the time comes, in exchange for their service in the Soren Rangers. They agreed and swore their oaths to the Soren Rangers. Ambrosia is currently still serving out her oath. However, Celestia was injured in the line of duty, and that is why she walks with a limp now. And she was no longer able to fight, so now she stays back and helps around High Peak.
I see.
Mhm.
Wow. This has
Okay.
all turned out well and fortuitous for us. We need to make our way through. We have to make it to Skala's Wrath.
Indeed. In the morning, I will take you to meet with the master, and, well, you should be able to get on your way then.
Grant, we appreciate the introduction.
Of course. He will be excited
Yes,
to meet
thank
you. Well, in the meantime, there are a couple rooms upstairs. They could probably fit 2 or 3 of you. Falah, Brooks, why don't you take one? And Melody, you can, of course, have a room. Cerberus, if I could impose upon you to take the couch out here.
Problem.
And Miss Rialta, you may take a room. She glances at Melody and glances at Tashira. Rialta, you can take a room with Tashira tonight.
Very well.
And yeah.
And Caldana?
And Caldana, she goes over and takes out a large collection of linens and pillows. And she says, I understand that in the Kartok Mountains, they typically don't sleep on beds as we think of them, so I think I could make you something of a nest as they typically have there.
I'll just kind of shrug. That'll work.
That
Tieflings are birds.
that might not be accurate at all. That could just be some bullshit she thinks is true. I'll leave up to you whether that is accurate or not. Or whether that is a little racist.
I mean, they're that high up in the mountains. What do they have to make beds out of?
That was my thinking.
You should have maybe traded with the dwarves. Instead, you kill us.
They don't trade with no one.
I know, they just kill us.
Ratings for wimps.
On the rare occasion that they have spare wood, it goes to burning fires.
Does it? Do tieflings lay eggs?
Oh my god.
No, I don't
Oh.
think so.
Hmm.
Dragonborn do.
Oh, do you have nests?
Well, our broodmothers have rookeries.
Speaking of moms, I met I met the Big Mom herself.
You met the Lady Ivory?
Mm-mm,
The mother of her clutch.
mm-mm.
You met Dragon.
Uh-huh.
It was a time.
Surely you are
Uh,
mistaken.
We
No.
we all
No.
did.
And the Prime Goddess.
Celesta and Ambrosia look at each other for.
It's been an eventful time.
They look at each other kind of desperately, as if to be like, I don't know, maybe they did. Why would they lie about that?
She was very cranky, and, well, don't really blame her. She was born cranky and angry. And, well, world was like, oh, you're a monster and stuff. And she was like, but I want love too, but, well, if you guys are gonna see me as a monster, then maybe I'll be a monster. And she threw a tantrum and stuff, and yeah, and she's been stuck in with the sword in her chest for like ages now,
Also,
and she's
the
still
first
really
red demon said
angry.
that's a fun little fact that
I'm sure it's a story that's
you'll
very
have to process.
difficult to believe when just, told around the table
I would-
nonchalantly. We seem pretty okay about it now. At the time, it was relatively impactful, I would say.
Aldana does not seem okay about it, actually.
I would certainly not tell too many people that Dragon was a dread demon. I would not go around repeating that.
Oh,
There will be
Ah.
many Dragonborn who do not take kindly to that.
Certainly
we certainly wouldn't.
Noted.
Varys just looks at Melody. I don't think any of us had any plans to mention it originally. Right, Melody?
Why are you being so weird? I just told them I met Dragon.
Right.
All right.
She looked a lot like a pretty rainbow, like an angry pretty rainbow.
Yes.
And
angry
she had
rainbow.
scales like me and Tashira, and it
Hmm.
was like all glistening and stuff.
Right.
But when I talked to her, well, she seemed a little sad on the inside, and I figure it was because, well, the world didn't really want to love her, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna be the first one to love her, and I gave her a thingy and to share scale as well, and I told her I was gonna prove that the world is gonna be ready, and if it wasn't, then I was gonna change it.
You finally revealed your secret.
Well,
Oh.
now that the
wouldn't tell
brownies
people.
are no longer the heaviest thing at the table, could someone get me another drink?
You are all provided another round of cold drinks.
Fantastic.
What?
More conversation is had. They decide that they're happier not knowing things like that.
I do have a question that's not related.
Please.
Fair.
Well, first of all, a question of like where we're at. You said this is underground, right?
Far
Like
underground.
covered from the sky.
Oh yes, there's no sky above.
Okay. Raelta's got a question.
Okay.
I've noticed that we are underground.
You are
There's no sunlight.
correct.
How do you tell time?
Oh. Well.
I'm very curious.
Hmm.
Raelta
Well,
would be very curious about you.
I'm sure she would.
Quick! DM, improv something!
You can just say. You can
You
just
see,
say.
Dragonborn have an innate circadian
we
rhythm.
have, yeah, we have
So
very.
exact.
It is
They have
actually
an atomic circadian rhythm.
Yes.
no. Time is actually told by the master here. The master
counts.
Scarlet is in rhythm with the sun.
He counts a lot.
Yeah,
Slowly.
he counts a lot. No, he is as the master of fire. He is in tune with the sun. When he sleeps, we sleep. When he is awake, we are awake.
Oh, so he is like the sun in the sky.
Indeed,
So when
Wait,
he
so what happens
has
if
his
he
own way-
oversleeps?
he never has.
Not that
Although
he-
perhaps that's what
I'm
an
not sure
eclipse
you would
is.
know if he did,
Or else
because
we-
you wouldn't wake up.
Or if he decided, or if he decided I'll pull an all-nighter. Oops.
And she's gonna she's gonna out a gold and put it in her in the curse purse.
Celesta gives an approving nod as you do.
Bet she would.
I don't think someone of his responsibility pulls an all-nighter, clearly. I mean,
So when he dies, then whoever takes the lead gains this power to be the sun?
When he dies.
when he dies. I thank you for your hospitality. I know it might be... I know I'm typically the one of cultural faux pas, and we've put a lot on you while also
Is he not
asking
mortal?
about
I didn't
your
know.
semi-immortal ruler and wondering what happens
Oh.
when they die, and
I thought they were mortal.
it takes a lot of... Well, I mean, technically...
He is
I just...
mortal. Technically.
Right.
But he is very old,
Yes.
and he
yes.
shows no signs of slowing down.
Right,
enough,
right.
Fair enough.
And we certainly aren't thinking about that he is. We wouldn't do that, because we are far underground, amongst a lot of very hostile dragon-shaped people, and I know that this group wants to do everything they can to make sure that we don't upset anyone, right? Everybody?
These were safe people to ask.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you were going to ask anyone, Ambrosia and Celesta would be the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Right.
who to ask questions to. I haven't gotten this far without knowing. Just writes in her book.
So, you all find your beds eventually. Tashira definitely offers, like, are you sure you don't want me to, like, go stay with Melody? You could have your own room and everything, Rialta?
She
They are
kinda
good friends.
blinks and is like, who would be in trouble if that were to happen?
Tashira looks at her for a moment. I don't see why anyone would have to get in trouble. It's just, you know.
If you don't believe that anyone will get in trouble, then I have no reason to say anything. This is
Great.
your home.
Excellent. So you have a room to yourself, Rialta. Congratulations.
Oh,
Melody, Tashira knocks at your door.
Rail's not gonna stop her.
As you open the door, she's like, hey, Rialta said she wants a room to herself tonight, so
She did not say that.
Oh,
And she
okay.
will
do you mind if I stay here? Is that okay?
Not at all.
Awesome. So Tashira will be staying with you tonight. Did anyone have anything they want to do before they go to bed?
Varys is going to ask if they have anything that helps people really sleep deeply, so they don't dream.
Yes, I would say Ambrosia. Let me have her make a.
Does Ambrosia have
Just
any
check.
ambrosia?
Okay, well, she's nat 20'd her medicine check, so yes,
Okay.
she is able to provide a. It's a root. It's in the nightshade family, but it's not nightshade. But in small doses and properly ground, it will serve as a good sleep aid. She mixes some into some very cold water for you.
Thank you kindly.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
I've had quite enough dreams.
Very well then. The heat can tend to lead to dreams too, so I don't blame you. Okay.
I would like to speak with my daughter.
Yep. So Fala has very much enjoyed her dinner. She seems very satiated, very pleased. And as you have a room to yourself, she's kind of getting ready for bed, and she glances over at you. Thank you again for being in there.
Of course. I couldn't be there when you were young, but I can be here now. When we traveled through the Geistmoor, I saw Jessie.
She looks like kind of shocked. Oh. So she is dead then.
Yes. I'm sorry.
No. Started to get my head around it. Was she okay? I can't imagine death being easy for Mom. It's very
Mm.
not her.
She did seem to struggle with accepting it.
I'm sure Mother was keeping her in line, keeping her grounded.
Well, I don't want to read too much into it, but I did not see Opal.
Odile.
Yes. Brain.
You also did not see
Broken.
Opal. That is true.
That is true!
I saw Opal.
It'd be a little concerning if you saw Opal.
Yeah. She kind of blinks. Oh.
Why are you here? I don't know. Why am I here?
She kind of blinks, and you can see she's trying not to get her hopes up, of course, but thought that another of her moms might still be alive is encouraging.
When this is all over, when we're done with this trip, I'll help you look for her or otherwise confirm, and we can pay our respects either way.
She nods. Thank you, Mom.
When we were in there, I'm guessing you saw your father.
She kind of gets a distant look on her face. Yeah.
I'm sorry again that I wasn't there to protect either of you. But as far as I'm concerned, ultimately you did the right thing.
She kind of offers a small smile at that.
And I'm proud of you.
Thank you. When I killed him, for a long time, I couldn't stop seeing the blood on my hands. I don't anymore. It's faded now. But
Well, I think the fact that you are troubled by it speaks volumes to your own character. It's not something you should take joy in, but when the time came, you did the right thing.
she nods. I'm going to try and do the right thing again. I'm going to help you all finish this quest.
Smile at her. Thank you.
I swear it on my name, Phila Bruxborn.
You can very, very much sort of a little wet-eyed. You can continue using Silverborn if you wish to honor her. She did raise you more than I was able to.
I am both. I am blessed of having 3 mothers.
Yes.
And she hugs you very tightly.
Yeah.
The night passes relatively peacefully. Some people might have
Wait.
some trouble sleeping because it's very hot.
Wait, shit.
Oh, so do you want to talk
Or
to
other reasons.
Shira?
What?
What?
We had.
I was gonna send I was gonna send I was gonna cast sending and send
Okay.
a message to Yuki. What first one's to Yuki.
Okay. You may cast sending to Yuki.
And I'm gonna tell her when we get back, I have a message to you and your brother from your mom.
It's a few moments later when you hear the voice of an 8-year-old reply to you. Oh. How is that possible? Mom's dead.
Next sending is gonna be saw her spirit and saw her spirit in Geistmore and talked with her, and she left me with a message for you two.
Okay. She replies, "Oh. I hope she looked well. And I look forward to hearing it."
Neat. And my last sending is gonna be towards Martine. Sorry I took so long to reply. This is last message. Shit, what the fuck was the last message? Something about
That's more than 25. I mean, we're out.
no.
Woo! That sucks. Well,
Yes.
Shit, hold on. What the I have lost track. There were so many noises that just happened. What was I saying?
You're
You're talking to Martine.
Martine, you're saying you're
Yes.
responding to a message you
Yes.
sent.
Yes, there we go. Sorry. Sorry. I haven't replied back the past few days. We were traveling. Yes, I know you and Rialta are weird with each other.
I don't think he ever sent you a message about that.
No.
That is the weirdest.
No.
What?
And that's okay. And that's her message to
Yeah.
him.
And that's okay.
A while ago, she had sent a message basically asking, "What is love?" with Martine, and Martine was like, "What's Rialta been saying about me?" And then she never responded.
Martine.
Oh, damn! Martine's dead. Martine jumped in the river that night when you didn't respond to him. You left his ass on red for a fucking week and a half. He's done.
Martine replies after a moment.
No, he doesn't, because he drowned himself. There's no way that he's still around. That's 2 words, Martine.
Thank you for the update, Melody. If you could do me a kindness, please have Rialta reach out to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
and at that Melody's gonna excuse herself from the room really quick.
Good.
And not
Now another person who's gonna want to drown themselves, Melody. So you got your crush in the room. She's like, we get to hang out. You're like, sorry, I was talking to this guy Martine. I gotta
Hold
leave
on.
for a second. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I
see
just
her
had this
jump out the
phone
window
call.
into the lava.
she's she's gonna go over to where Rialta's staying.
Another
right
dead
now, and-
dragonborn. There we go. Holy shit.
You knocking on the door?
Mhm.
Come in.
Hi. Sorry, I know Tashira said that you wanted the room to yourself, but I just got a message from Sunvale, and
I didn't
he
say
said-
that, first of all.
Hmm?
Well, I didn't say I wanted the room to myself. She asked if I wanted the room to myself. I said I didn't need to have the room to myself, and she said she wanted a room with you, and I said, would we get in trouble? And she said, why would we get in trouble? And I said, you can do what you'd like.
Shira
Anyway.
can't get in trouble anymore. Okay? Because
I
we
am-
never speak ill of the dead.
Wait, what
So-
did you say about Martine?
Oh, yeah. So I was talking. I was trying to send a message to him, and he said to tell you to tell to. Cred, hold on. He told me to tell you to tell him to send him a message tomorrow.
So not
I'm so confused right now.
not tonight, but tomorrow. Very well. Why
Great,
were
now
you-
Rialta thinks he doesn't want to talk to her before tomorrow. Now she's gonna drown herself. We have lost 3 people
to love.
already.
One of them is the same person twice.
Damn
Um,
it!
well, very well. Why were you messaging Martine? Is everything all right?
Oh yeah, I was telling him about the message for him and
Home wrecker.
The message for him?
Ooh.
from their mom. I met their mom at the Geismore.
Varys is doing this on the couch. Ooh.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
But yeah, I had a message for them, and I don't have any more sending spells for today, so.
She used all her sending spells on Martine.
I will will speak to him tomorrow then.
Martine never mentioned her
So-
before. Ooh.
Rob, all I hear is Princess Ponyhead right now, and I'm dying.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly
Oh
what
yeah,
it is.
Star Marco wants to talk to you.
Oh yeah, Star. Marco wants to talk to you. Marco's here too.
That's right.
That's exactly what it is.
But
Oh, no, Tom
wait,
wants
now
to talk to you.
I'm so
Liz.
confused. So wait, let me get this straight.
Oh, Tom.
You didn't want the room to yourself?
I didn't.
Oh my God!
really
If Melody goes in here
care.
and leaves
I
the
didn't
other
really-
girl by herself.
I didn't really have a preference either way. Tashira,
Holy
from my
shit.
understanding, seemed very intent on leaving this room to see you. That
You're-
was my impression.
You're the worst wingman.
She's honest.
Wow.
She was not asked to lie. For all she sees is Tashira's trying to get her into trouble.
Wow.
She is not somebody who likes that.
You're the worst wingman.
Varys. So socially inept Varys is on the ground going, oh.
But
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
am fine with having the room to myself. I might actually check on Caldana before I go to bed.
Oh yeah, let's all just go to each other's rooms, fucking confuse everybody. I'm not gonna know. Varys is on the couch. That's where he is.
Yeah, every time Melody crosses the hallway and sees Varys on the couch, she's like,
hi, Sir Varys.
He's getting irritated. He's trying to sleep. He's about to take a broom and knock on the ceiling. Stop walking around up there. Okay, go to bed.
If I were to make a
hot as hell.
recommendation, Melody, I would. Well, I think you have. I appreciate that you were talking to me, but I think you have someone who wishes very much to speak with you
Well, she can't share to use all her sending spells, so
in your room.
she's screwed,
You
I
found a
guess.
Sunday spell. Yeah.
Oh, I
mean,
mean, we could talk like during dinner and stuff. But okay.
Ooh.
You let me know if he gives you trouble, okay?
and Melody like fixes you with like one of those like those cat stares as her pupils just kind of like dilate from like the big orbs that they were to down to like the narrow slits.
I will be sure to let you know if he does anything untoward, and you can tell me the same if Tashira does anything untoward.
I think Varys knows
Why would you be untoward?
what a useless
I don't
lesbian
know.
is, but I feel like he's learning
Well,
today.
You just never know. And she smiles.
Melody blinks at that and just like slowly creaks the door closed.
I was going to talk to Caldana, but if you want, we can do this another night.
You can talk to Caldana if you want.
Okay. Cool. Well,
A lot can happen in a few hours.
Do you walk to Caldana's room?
yeah, I guess.
Varys sits up. Okay.
I have very light feet. I am not heavy and tall like all of you.
Who told you you had light feet?
Pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter.
Because I am a knight who does not lie.
Well,
No,
All
wait.
right.
This is this.
If
this
there
is
is
what
one thing that Cerberus is known for,
Well, fine.
this is
Here you
what
go,
Varys
Severus.
hears.
Caldana, you hear a knock at your door.
11
Oh,
stealth.
I didn't know I had a room. I thought I just had a nest.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you
somewhere.
have a nest downstairs.
You
so
hear a knock at
you're
your
actually
desk.
right near Cerberus.
Oh.
You're sitting.
Oh,
just
never
look it up.
mind.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe, okay, this is what's gonna happen.
I think you're there. I
Rialta's
think
gonna
you've committed.
go and get a cold drink.
Okay.
It's very hot.
All right. You get a cold drink.
And she will offer one to Caldana.
Varys looks
Uh,
over.
Caldana was definitely just like staring at the ceiling, kind of jumps a little bit. Thanks.
She
Don't even
points
want
up
this
the
blanket.
stairs, points at Cerberus, and does one of these.
So hot.
I
Ugh,
will follow her up.
So hard to
All
sleep
right.
in my armor.
Caldana, you go to Rialta's room.
Hold on.
Tashira wanted to stay with Melody,
fucking
so...
armor.
Ugh,
It's like a sauna in there.
it's fucking hot.
I am not stealthy about it.
It's like the sound of cloven hooves. God damn it. Fucking hate this.
Alright.
All right.
Close the door.
Why is it
All right.
hardwood floors throughout the entire building?
Rialta, Caldana.
Are you alright? You seem a little out of sorts since, well, I suppose since, we were in that Geistmore.
I mean, no.
Not alright, then.
God told me, twist of fate, and I would have been Scala too. Not really sure how to handle that.
And,
But, hey, at least the sword doesn't know that's actually my worst nightmare.
so you are afraid because you feel that you could have very quickly gone down the wrong path.
Fully intended to, if I'd had a spark. And, not died.
Life is strange that way. Fates and designs and futures are, well, not fully written. Maybe they exist elsewhere, even. It's hard to say. Not the goddess, but, before Selena left, she told me that she was choosing as her champion between me and my brother.
Caldana just blinks a couple times. That's a lot.
If she had chosen him, he wouldn't have caused Scala to come. And I would probably have just been stuck up at that mountain, pretending I was fine while trying not to mourn for Opal. Doesn't seem very fair, but I think sometimes futures aren't always fair. You're not the second coming of Scala. Perhaps you were saved from causing that by the Red Lady.
Did a great job of repaying her for that one.
What do you mean?
Well, fell in love with the Dread Demon.
Mm-hmm.
Made her feel real great about that choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in protecting Soraya from Gala, she just kind of gestures to the tattoo.
Well, weren't you always going to have that power for somebody?
Sorry, what did Rialta say? I
Oh.
only got like half of it.
Sorry. Wouldn't you always have had that power, that resurrection spell for somebody?
I mean, yeah. But when, well, Lestitia was first in my head, well, the Red Lady found out and she was not a fan, obviously. Probably putting it a little lightly. And, you know, kind of seemed to be questioning her choice. And we didn't really talk a whole lot after that, except after I had let her take my body for a spin.
Do you fear that the Red Lady regrets choosing you?
I mean, wouldn't you?
She thinks about that for a moment. Regret's a weird thing. I think you can regret something immediately, but later down the line you can change your mind. Sometimes I wonder if I regret being with Opal. But if I didn't have that experience, if I didn't go through that, if I wasn't chosen for all of this, I wouldn't have met all of you. And I wouldn't have even met Martine. So, I did regret it once upon a time, and now I don't. Maybe it's the same for the Red Lady.
Kind of gives a half smile. Oh, I hope you're right.
Well, if the Red Lady really was mad at what you did, do you think she would have protected Soraya as she has?
Caldana kind of looks lost in thought for a minute. Part of me wants to say just practicality, being who she was, but probably not.
Practicality certainly has a role in things, that's true, but... well,
Practicality wouldn't have taken the locket and given it to Soraya, I suppose.
no, I don't think so. Practicality wouldn't have let her be taken by Scala and let Soraya go instead. This world is very frustrating sometimes because not everything works on practicality. There's feelings and connections, and sometimes it's really, really messy. But
Messy feels like an understatement.
yeah. But I don't know, there's also something kind of beautiful about it too.
I suppose so.
So, I can't tell you to not feel bad about what you used to be like and what you could have done to the world. But I am glad I exist in a timeline where instead of being my enemy, you are my friend.
Nah,
Aw.
the same.
She smiles. This room's a little cooler if you want to set up in the corner.
Caldana
Also-
looks kind of looks or glances around a bit. I think I just might. At the very least, maybe they won't ask too many questions if they hear another set of footsteps coming in here.
Fair enough.
You do. And the evening passes.
Well, actually, hold on. I want to go down and talk to Varys. Ask him how he's doing.
What? What's going on?
No,
Who is?
just fucking,
Yeah.
just
What?
memeing.
Fuck.
The evening passes, and Tashira is not at all a cad. She does talk with Melody for a good bit of the night, but she eventually goes to sleep. In the morning, you are all treated to a delightful breakfast, once again prepared by Ambrosia, probably the best you've had on this journey. And they then take you down towards the government building of High Peak. The journey down to the bottom level of High Peak is not a long one, though it is a bit awkward, mainly due to the strange looks you get on the way. It's pretty rare for a non-Dragonborn to be in High Peak at all, much less descending to the lowest levels of it. Yet, with Ambrosia and Celesta leading the way, you don't have much trouble riding the elevator down and approaching the massive domed building that marks the government of the city. The long obsidian walkway leading up to the front is flanked by two statues, each of a Dragonborn wielding a lance. More interesting is the utter lack of guards. You have all now been in a number of government buildings, from Minas Grove to Moon Bay to Stone's Throw, and in all of them, there's been a lot of guards. It's a heavily guarded area. Here, there is no one. It is utterly empty on this level. As you reach the entrance, both Ambrosia and Celesta stop and glance back at you all. Celesta turns, kind of leaning on her cane a little bit, but she smiles. This is as far as we go. Best of luck to you all. We labored for many years to buy you this audience.
Thank you.
Best behaviors, everyone.
You're not coming with us?
It is an audience for the group of you to speak with the master. You'll be fine. We'll say goodbye before you go, I promise.
Melody visibly stiffens.
She hugs you. Courage, Melody.
Anything we should know to, I don't know, avoid?
Maybe don't ask him what happens when he dies.
I think there is little you could say to him that would matter in such a way.
Then maybe I should. I'm just kidding.
As you step through the entryway, you find yourself entering a massive grand hall. Looking around, you can see that the domed ceiling is in fact the largest mural any of you has ever seen. It depicts someone you recognize, although a much larger version of her. Dragon herself is on one side of the mural, and twisting around her are her 8 children, each of them glowing resplendently in a different color. On the other side of the mural, what you can only assume is tiefling, elf, halfling, human, and dwarf are being led into battle against the dragons by Uruk, who wields a massive red blade. Notably, Dragon looks infuriated in this painting, while the others who are depicted look like they are in agony. At the far end of the hall, there is a large throne made from the same red crystal threaded throughout all of High Peak, and sitting on it is an utterly massive Dragonborn man. 2 red fins flank either side of his head like a winged crown. He doesn't wear a shirt, and his muscled chest and abs reflect the light in the relatively dim part of the room, as do his brilliant red eyes. As he stands up, you see that he is easily 12 feet tall, and stepping forward into the light, he bows his head politely. "Welcome to High Peak," he greets, his voice having a little hiss to it, an unusual sound. And as he enters into the light, you all can see the reason for it. The right side of his face is scarred black, and much of his right cheek is missing, as you can see through to his broken teeth and tongue behind that. In addition, his right arm is shriveled and blackened, crippled from some injury as it rests attached to his body. I am Scarlet, the fifth born of Dragon. Welcome to my home.
Varys will bow. Master Scarlet, we thank you for this audience.
Real well as well.
Wait, as in the Scarlet from like Scholarain Scarlet?
It is the dragon that she rode into Stone's Throw on the
Huh.
day that Iris was killed.
No, about 20-something years before they said most of the Red Dragonborn got hunted down.
Rialta's hurting her neck, just craning up.
Yeah, he is very tall.
He is over double her size.
Mm. He glanced at you. I welcome you, whispers in silence.
Thank you for the welcome. How much have you been made aware of our situation?
Bits and pieces. But I know what it is you carry in that box.
Do you know where we need to take it?
I can imagine only one place if you wish to cross through the Sorin range. You take it to Skala's Wrath, to
Yes.
cast it into the
Indeed.
red eyes.
That is the hope.
Yes.
We wish to destroy this concentration of the demon's power.
And that is why she has gone there.
She is waiting for us. How do you know this?
She crossed the Sorin a few days ago. In ancient times, my brothers and sisters prevented her worms from moving under the mountains. We prevented her armies from crossing. But she is one person. We cannot stop one person from crossing.
That makes sense.
But you could help us?
Well, it doesn't change our course.
No, and if anything, we should have expected it. Why would Scala take this lying down?
The children of my youngest sister have bartered with me to provide you passage through these mountains.
I see.
We appreciate their sacrifice.
They have fulfilled their end of the bargain, so I will do the same.
Thank you. May I ask a question about she who walked across and is there?
Yes.
Was it just her, or was there another?
Two were in her company.
I see.
Hmm.
Any descriptions that you were made aware of?
Not dragonborn. One small like you. The other small but taller than you. Smaller than the tiefling.
Sure, that would be. I should have expected my brother would meet me there. That is.
He has several lieutenants. It could be any of them.
That's true.
Regardless, we know what to expect. When and how, Your Grace, do we get through this mountain range?
I will provide a way to you who have spoken to my mother and to my grandmother.
You were made aware of that.
I can smell them on you.
Yes. We
Neat.
did speak with them.
It would have to be. I have a question for you before I allow you through.
Very well.
What are you willing to sacrifice to win?
Sort of glance around at everyone.
My life, certainly. And my soul, if need be.
Sacrificing your life is an easy price to pay. Would you sacrifice others?
I suppose it would depend on who.
Others' lives are not mine to give.
No. But that may be the choice that you are faced with.
Frown.
It's the sacrifice that, like, he had to make.
Yes. I met her only once, when she was but a small child. Even then, one could see that she could be great or terrible.
What was she like?
What do you mean by that?
The gift that we are all given. Choice. To be great or to be terrible.
Could have been a dread demon, like anyone with a spark, yes.
Yes.
Well,
But none of you have this spark.
no.
But you all have the same choice. Greatness and terrible requires not divinity. He
If-
looks to Caldana. That one would have brought genocide. And instead she brings salvation. And she carries no spark.
I suppose
That is the
true.
nature of choice,
Yes.
of making our own paths.
Then I will choose to make a path for you. Stand back. And as you all back up, you watch as before your very eyes he begins to transform, expanding out in all directions. He grows impossibly large, and suddenly you are all very much aware of why this building is so big for one single person. His neck lengthens as his arms shift up towards his back, twisting into wings, one of them remaining crippled and blackened, and you sense that he can no longer fly. He drops down, now on 4 legs, and an ancient red dragon stands before you. And as he turns, he moves beyond the throne and takes a deep breath. In an instant, the room becomes swelteringly hot as a massive plume of white flame erupts from his mouth and slams into the wall, melting a hole into it. The breath of fire burns through rock and stone and metal, melting all that stands before it until finally it blasts out through the surface miles away. And what is left behind once it cools is a long crystalline tunnel, your passage to the other side, looking so familiar, like the one that brought you down here.
Indeed.
He kind of growls as he finishes. It takes about 20 minutes. It's not a short process. But as he finishes, he finally turns and glances back at you. Your way is open. I fulfill my end of the bargain as payment for what I did years, centuries ago.
Thank you. We will fulfill our part as well.
See
Regardless
that
of
you
the
do.
sacrifices.
Melody, did you wish to say goodbye?
He lets out not a loud roar, but loud enough, and it seems to signal to, yeah, it seems to signal to Celesta and Ambrosia that they are allowed to enter, and they do. And they approach you, Melody, looking very proud, but Celestia kind of frowns. 10 years we had to leave you, and this is all we have to show for it.
It's gonna be okay.
They nod. Ambrosia walks over to you, puts a hand on your shoulder. She closes her eyes for a moment, as if feeling something. I can feel it coursing through you. The strength of our people, the strength of your goddess, the strength of your friends. You have gotten so powerful in such a short amount of time. If it was anyone else, I would say you can't win. But you can, Melody. Daughter.
Of course I will. I gotta. How
Celeste,
else are we gonna get to go home and sit around the fire with the hot cocoa and singing about the sacred song and stuff?
Celeste nods to you. We will. She puts a hand on your cheek. I am very proud of you, Melody. You see her unclasp a necklace. She's worn it for a long time. It is a leather necklace made from different kinds of I want to say like an ibex, but that's not what I'm thinking of. It's a mountain creature. What is it called?
Like the mountain goats?
I mean, yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But, maybe it is an ibex. I don't know.
An
but-
ibex
Same
has
style
straight
as my
horns?
horns?
Yes, it's got horns just like yours, Melody.
That's a Markor.
Thank you. And on it there's pieces of bone and some gems as well, and a piece of ivory, a beautiful polished stone of ivory, is on it. And she takes it off and puts it around your neck. There you go. This will. Well, she glances down at her leg. I can't say it'll keep you safe, but it'll let you think of me.
As they look like they're wrapping up, I'll come over with Fala.
They glance to you.
Fear not. The bond between a parent and a child cannot be broken by time or distance, but only if you choose to.
Cerberus is
We
just
will
gonna
do-
wince at that.
We will do everything in our power to protect Melody.
They give a grateful smile.
Mama,
They look at you.
for 10 summers, I've both kind of dreamed and dreaded this day, because I wasn't sure if I did go home, if you were gonna be there or not. But for 10 summers, not a night went by when I didn't think of you guys.
Celesta smiles. We thought of you every moment of every day. More times than I can count, we wanted to just abandon our quest. Dismiss it. Think of it as just a crazy dream. But we knew in our hearts that this day would come to pass and we would see you again. And I'm so happy that it is in the presence of such wonderful friends.
They're not just friends to me. They're like family.
Then they too are welcome in Far Home. Do not ever fear going home, Melody. You are always welcome there.
I may need to find my way back.
Just follow your feet. You know the way.
And at that, Melody kind of like hugs them both, and then let's go. And trying not to cry, but she also says,
Oh, and and please tell Tashira, thank you for helping Fala and
We'll
for
be
everything that she's done.
At that, Scarlet actually speaks up. Tashira, thank you for helping Fela. And over in the corner, you see Tashira like trying to sneak past to get towards the tunnel, and she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm so happy that I could help. That's why I'm here. I thought I would just check up on
Hey.
Fala. Sometimes after you dream walk, you don't feel so great the next day, you know."
Right.
And
You were
Celesta
mostly
and
just
Ambrosia
walking
just
last night,
look.
but-
Tashira hurries over towards Melody. So, listen, I don't know if like, you know, I mean, if you succeed at this, you're gonna be like famous heroes and stuff. And I know I'm just like, you know, some random Scarlet Dragonborn. But I mean, if you ever wanted to like learn how to use the lance, or maybe do like a singing thing together, I'd like to offer. Yeah, if you, I mean, if you wanted to, I get it. Like I'm, I'm a Scarlet.
You
You're
wanna
Ivory.
do a duet with me?
Yeah, yes, that's the one. I'd like to do that with you.
They're good friends.
just gals being pals, guys.
Yeah, they're great roommates.
Well, I don't know about being heroes and stuff, because performers aren't really meant to be heroes. They're just supposed to help spread the word. Well, not spread the word, but spread healing and stuff, so the world can heal. And oh goodness, yeah,
Melody. Tashira takes a step closer and leans in and says, "May I kiss your cheek for luck?"
Very meek nod from Melody.
And she leans in and kisses your cheek affectionately, and then steps back. Both Ambrosia and Celesta give her a look, but they don't say anything.
And as she pulls away, Melody imitates the bow that Scarlet did when they first met.
Scarlet returns that bow.
And before they leave, she's gonna look up at Scarlet.
Scarlet glances down.
I made your mom a promise. Well, not a promise, but I gave her my word. She seemed really sad that the world didn't really accept her. And well, I told her that if the world wasn't ready for her, then I'll do my part to change that. And I made a promise, and at the place we met. I hope she gets the message.
first memory of my mother was her teaching me to fly. I was the last of my brood to learn. She was patient and kind. And she loved me. And so when she took war to the world, I fought with her. But it hurt to know that she warred on the world because of the pain that she felt. And when we betrayed her to Uruk, it broke her.
Well, my mom's always said that if I did wrong, when next we meet, you say sorry.
If I ever speak to her again, perhaps I will do so. Farewell, Melody of the Ivory.
Melody is going to approach one of his claws and just like try and hug it.
He allows you to. And at that, you all depart, moving up the crystalline cave.
As we're leaving, Varys, as he passes the giant throne, he just takes out of his pocket a little sachet. Oh, right. Gotta leave
Oh
him.
my god.
This right here. Your Grace,
boy.
for you and your hospitality, I tried to get the biggest one I could.
And
Thank
you
you.
were worried about me asking what would happen if you died.
This is a ritual. The Dragonborn really like to give each other skin.
The
She loves
dragon,
hair.
Cerberus,
Mm.
he leans down, biting at his shoulder, and tears a scale free, which he hands to you.
Hey.
You may add an ancient red dragon scale to your inventory.
Varys beams and bows. Thank you, Your Grace.
It's big enough to be your shield.
Flesh given forth.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's big enough to be a fucking tower shield or some shit.
Maybe we'll get a chance to see what you might get to do with it at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, fuck.
The climb up the crystalline tunnel is not a short one. As it turns out, even with a straight shot, it's a long trek through a mountain range. But it's at least easy traveling, as there is nothing alive to interrupt the admittedly monotonous journey. It's a lot of red and black crystal the whole way. Some 10 hours into the climb, while you are all taking a break, Rialta, you hear a voice in your mind, that of Martine Sunvale. Rialta, I don't know if you can hear this, but if you can, I hope you are well. She has come to Stone's Throw.
She asked the group to stop for a moment.
Yes,
mean-
what is it?
Martine just sent me a message. Could we wait 3 minutes so I can confirm what he's telling me?
Of
Certainly.
course.
Do you need somewhere comfy?
I will just make sure I don't hit my head. These stairs look very hard. And she tries to
Okay.
kind of sit
Mhm.
so that she won't hurt herself.
Yeah, you sit on the edge
I'll-
where the crystal kind of like
Yeah.
shifts up into a wall.
Yeah.
Brace yourself.
And she'll activate the sending stone. I need it to be known that it's been very hot, so she doesn't. I mean, she's clothed, but it's like crop top style at this point because she's like, "Ah."
As you focus, you once again shift away from your body here near the Dawn Coast and find yourself back in Stone's Throw. It is quiet. A quiet that you have grown to recognize over your journey. The sound of the eve of battle, the calm before the storm. Out the eastern window of Martine's room, you can see the sun getting ready to set. You hear the shuffling of armor, and as you look her over, you see Martine. He's finishing attaching his breastplate, tightening the harness at the side. His hands then trace down to his belt line, pulling on the sheath of his blade, Redemption. His hair is tied back behind his head, not in the loose ponytail that he normally wears, but in a tight braid that will keep it out of his eyes. Over his breastplate, he wears an officer's long coat in a deep green collar with golden trim, the colors of Moon Bay. On his face, he wears a look of determination, and as he turns towards you, his boots click on the ground. Seeing you, his hardened look softens a bit. Rialta. I am relieved to see you still well.
Yes, we are crossing finally to the volcano.
You've traveled far indeed, then.
We have.
Nearly there.
And she's here. We received word that she was back where we are.
Then her armies are. There is no doubt about that.
I see. Poised to it. How much?
How many?
Yes.
Too many. I have elected for us not to make our last stand here. Stone's Throw is a large city, but not the most defensible. The water is behind us here. It will not aid us the way it could elsewhere. 2 days ago, I ordered the bulk of our army down towards Lockheed's Landing, where we will make our final stand, one way or the other. And, well, we are currently in the process of evacuating.
So you're evacuating the city?
As many as we can.
Where is Yuki going?
She has already left for Mina's Grove. I sent her with Saria about a week ago.
And you?
In an effort to buy as much time as possible for the evacuation of the city, myself and 500 of our volunteers have elected to ride out and meet the army. Take the fight to them, force them to, well, play on the defensive for a couple days until we can get more of our people out of this city.
But you'll risk for you.
The risk for me will be great, yes. As will with most. Our contingent is entirely volunteer. No one was ordered.
I see. What we are willing to sacrifice, right?
Always. I suspect I will be the only one out there wearing the colors of Moon Bay. The city has fallen. It is no more. The last, be the last honoring of my mother. And as you notice, you see on his coat, there is the patch of Onrado Tsuki on it.
You know, Melody saw her in the Geismore. Your mother.
Oh. I trust she is handling death with the same decorum that she has handled everything in her life.
Sounds like it.
Good.
But, that means that Melody has much to tell you when we return.
And I look forward to hearing it. I do not intend to ride to my death, Rialta.
Or dear Spark, I hope.
Perhaps. Though I like to think if I sparked now, perhaps I would spark as a god. But I suppose it's hard to say.
It is.
He walks over and hugs you as much as he can.
Can hug, yeah. She attempts.
If I do survive this, Rialta,
Yes?
I hope you might allow me to court you properly.
like that.
I would as well. Well,
It does mean that you must return and I must throw a sword into a volcano.
then we both have much work to do.
Me too.
Be safe, Rialta.
You as well, Martine. Please.
I will. And he leans in, and you can't feel his lips on yours, but he does kiss you.
Tries and she's like, damn.
And as you do, you vanish back.
She sits up suddenly and has a very pained look in her face. Her army has come to Stone's Throw. They're evacuating the city.
Where to?
They aren't evacuating to Lockheed's.
They are.
They are?
Well,
Okay.
they're evacuating civilians further south, but
Okay, yeah.
the army is going to Lockheed's Landing
That's
to
right.
defend there.
Okay.
I mean, that's south too of Stone's Throw.
Yes.
Right. So I'll explain all of that. But yeah, the army is, the people are being evacuated as south as possible. Yuki is in, along with your daughter, Brooks, is in Mina's Grove. But they are, well, the rest of the army is holding off as much as possible until they can make their final stand in Lockheed's Haven.
See.
There's not enough army for Uskala brings, but he is going to lead the fight there.
They buy us
Well.
time, I guess.
Indeed.
Much as before, we have to do our part.
Guarantee any of us are coming back from this, so
A hand out to help Rialta stand up and on away.
Thank you. Apologies.
Indeed. You
good
continue
that you
onward.
spoke to him.
I'm glad to.
You continue onward throughout the night. And as you emerge from the tunnel, finally, it is at first light. Seeing the sunrise, you find yourselves gazing upon a sight that truly few have looked at in centuries. A dense jungle sprawls out before you, leading down towards a massive white sand beach where the waves lap at the shoreline. Far in the distance, out near the horizon, however, you see what you have journeyed so long to find. The massive volcano, Skala's Wrath, looms large in the distance, in the center of the sea created by its last eruption. The final leg of your journey stands before you.
Are
So,
you prepared for what we'll find there, Rialta?
I have to be. This has been the prophecy foretold. He will be
You go hand on shoulder, squeeze.
You're not
I-
alone.
We'll get through it together.
I only ask one thing. Please let me at least speak to him before whatever his fate is meant to be.
Of course.
Right. Well,
We'll try
we're
to
more
distract
concerned
her.
with the sword anyway.
Indeed.
So hopefully you can shake some sense into him. Scala, what we've seen so far, the manipulations of our hearts, the illusions, the corruption. We don't just go to face any dread demon now, one of her lieutenants. We go right into the maw of the beast, so steel yourselves. We've left a lot of people behind, family in particular. Some of us have had a chance to say goodbye. Some of us may never get that, but regardless, you need to leave that here now at the base of the mountain. Because we cannot have regrets where we go. I'm not saying don't fight so that you can go home again, but it's probably best that you focus on making sure others can. Because what we might need to give up, it may be final. And we need to ensure that it's for victory.
Making your way down to the beach isn't particularly difficult. As much as you've all been through, a jungle is no serious feat. However, as you get to the beach, something does occur to you. You have to get across this small sea. And swimming does not seem viable. So how would you all like to approach crossing the water?
Let me see here.
Well, Varys and I
Yeah, we can
don't.
fly.
Yeah,
That's true.
we're kind of okay.
Oh, I could have prepared a different spell.
I mean, you can say you prepare whatever you want.
Well,
Lamon's
You had a
secret
long
boat.
rest.
There's a water spell I probably could have prepared for this. What's that spell called?
Shape water.
Not shape water. It's too small.
Water walking?
I guess maybe. I was thinking of
That's what we used in Scholar, right?
Is there?
Across the river, yeah. Water walking.
Okay. Can I learn that spell? Hold on.
But
I'm searching right now. Oh, it's not called water walking. What's it called?
walk on
Or
water.
maybe it was water breathing or something. It was something like that.
I think
Water
you had
breathing
both
is
water
a spell.
breathing and water walking.
I know we had both. Yeah, we had access to both.
Okay. I can. Oh, I can. Okay. I
Okay.
can learn water walk. So.
All right. You cast water walk on everybody.
Yeah.
How long does that
Duration?
last?
1 hour.
Everyone
Could
give me an
we
athletics
make
check.
that? Ooh. 14?
Yep, group athletics check.
Oh no.
Don't know why.
24.
19.
24, 40, 53, 67. And Brooks,
19.
67 plus 19 is what, 86? So 86 divided by, oh, and Falah needs to go. Oh, geez, Falah, kill it. So 86 plus 21 is 108, or 107 rather.
107.
107 divided by 6 is roughly 18. Yeah, that clears. Okay, great. Indeed. In a moment that no DM could ever have really prepared for, the party casts water walking and hauls ass across the water. As you all...
Would you say that we have made a travel montage of getting across this water?
something like that, as you all hurry on across the sea.
Sea shanty?
Yeah, exactly. You can do a sea shanty, absolutely.
Oh,
Hold on.
we shanty our way over.
I do have a sea shanty actually.
I mean, can you walk to a sea shanty? Don't sea
Is it
shanties
drunk?
require boats?
Is it Drunken Sailor?
No. Actually no. Billy O.T.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I know good old Billy.
So, as you arrive,
yes.
the volcanic island that makes up Skala's Wrath is foreboding even from a distance. But now up close, that takes on a whole new feeling. One would expect it to get very hot near a volcano, and yet that is not what you experience. In fact, as you step foot on the island, you can see your breath, as though all love and warmth has been sucked out of this place. And gazing around, you see that the effect is not limited to just the temperature. The trees on this island are petrified, looking more like stone statues than the palm trees and jungle of the Dawn Coast. The white sand beaches of the coast here look more like ash, and even though the sun is shining brightly overhead, somehow it feels muted and dark here, as though the color of the world has slowly been drained away. Strange shivers and sensations run through you, and at all times you feel as though the land is watching you and wishing you away. Yet your path up the slope of the volcano is unimpeded, with petrified trees and gravel making for a trodden route up the otherwise treacherous surface. One can't help but sense that the land here is begrudgingly welcoming you into it. I need... Who has the sword right now?
I'd probably be carrying it.
I need a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
All right. Twelve.
Mal, is you're out at 11:30 as usual? Just so you know,
11:50.
we're near the end of tonight, so
Like that's my heart out.
what is?
11:15.
Okay, thank you.
11:15. She said.
All right, let's see if we can get through this then.
Robbie rolled 12, which means he failed.
I
Good.
got 12.
So as you start,
Didn't we add the other stuff?
oh yeah, you have a +6 bonus, so 18.
Oh, 18 then.
Yeah. Okay. As you start moving up this mountain, with each step you take, the weight of the sword seems to grow heavier. It knows that it is very close to its master now, and it desperately wishes to reach her.
Getting scared?
Varys says to no one in particular.
If you had to say anything, it's getting excited.
The fucking sword is getting hot and heavy because it's
Oh, yeah.
getting near to Scala. Oh my fucking
And as you
this goddamn horny ass sword.
near the summit, you can see the massive temple built into its peak. It is wrought of the same dark steel that made up the walls around the resistance exclusion zone, and 2 reliefs of Scala are carved into the sides of the entrance. Stepping through the entryway, Rialta, you're struck by this place because you've been here before, briefly. Before you is the long concrete bridge on which you spoke to Saren that night south of Lockheed's Landing. The bridge crosses over what was, in your dream, a massive pool of magma, yet now that pool is frozen over and hardened into rock. And standing on the center of the bridge is a demon, what can only be a demon. She has deep red flesh with stark white hair and matching white pools for eyes. She wears gold jewelry across her otherwise scantily clad body and has a scythe in her hands. Beyond this bridge, a set of stairs lead up to a platform upon which sit 2 thrones. 3 people are on this platform, and you recognize all 3 of them. The first is sitting on his knees in front of the thrones. Saren's body looks battered and broken, though recently cleaned. He kneels with his head facing down, and even from this distance you can see the red tendril around his neck, serving as a collar and leash that Scala is holding. She sits in one of the thrones, one leg crossed over the other. In one hand she holds Saren's leash, and in the other she has a glass of what looks like wine as she gazes out at you all. In the throne to her right, there's another person you recognize. The woman has long pink hair and a black eye to go with her broken nose. She's wearing a rather defiled wedding dress and has a thorn ring on her wedding finger, biting into the flesh and drawing blood from her hand at all times. She glances up, shame and agony on her face, as you recognize Callie. Scala's voice rings out as she eyes the lot of you. And so at last they arrive. You see, matriarch, patience. I told you they would come. The matriarch standing on the bridge before you grins. At last.
Matriarch?
I am the matriarch. Evelyn is gone.
Then why are you fighting us?
Because I need not listen to that whining sow anymore. I am the matriarch, dread demon of grief and vengeance.
Drawing Destiny.
What's your full title?
She ain't telling you.
Damn it.
Yeah, my weapon is now
So
out.
the volcano's frozen, yeah?
Yep.
Yep.
The volcano is frozen, at least down here. But up on the platform, there do appear to be 2 volcanic spots.
Brother.
How far? Interesting.
Indeed.
Matriarch, I know you're still in there.
No. And at that,
Good.
Scala smiles. No, she is with me. But, Matriarch, before I allow you to kill them, I owe the boy completion of our deal. Well, little boy, go meet your sister.
Saren.
He doesn't look at you as he stands up, ashamedly, making his way down the stairs. The leash seems to continue to extend out as he walks. And he passes by the matriarch to approach.
She will approach as well.
He looks down, glancing at you, finally. I was wrong.
It's not too late.
It is.
I'm going to prove it to you that it's not. I saw her. I know what you've been carrying.
How?
She's in the Geistworn. Her spirit is waiting to go to the other side. I'm sorry I didn't know.
I'm sorry, Rialta. I knew you loved her. But I did too. And Scala stands from behind and applauds. Ah, and so here we are. Twins clash at Red Rock's crest. And so too shall the moon rise in the west. And she motions on out towards the west, and you can see over the tops of this temple, indeed, the moon Rosalind has begun to rise over the western horizon. Except that isn't Rosalind. That can't be Rosalind, because Rosalind is up in the sky right now. As you glance up, you can see her. Which means that that's Ceres, but Ceres isn't that big. And it is with some horror that you begin to realize that the moon is not rising in the west. It's just getting closer.
God! No!
And that's where we'll wrap up for tonight.
Fucking pull the goddamn Majora's Mask on us? From the